Okay, so today was kind of busy, and I want to try to, since it's getting so dark early, I'm going to try to do a video where hopefully this is not upside down, that I can do inside with, artificial light, and so I don't have to schedule my time around the fucking sun. So October 94, and this chick was on, like, who was it? Curtis was in on Friday, and he was like, this chick was on like all kinds of lowrider stuff. What I think is funny is she used to, or not her, I mean, I'm sure she's just a model that you pay, but on the lowrider magazines, she would like super sled it up, and I thought that was rad. Because like lowrider was like the sluttier version of, car guys, Auto Sound and Security and Car Audio magazine were like, we're above that. But more of, if you got to think about it, who are the sponsors? Again, it's always the sponsors that are ones that curtail or determine content. And so, this is like upstanding, companies like Bazooka, Sure, it's a good Christian company. And Christians don't like to talk about vaginas and wieners, because they don't breed like normal people. They use the stork and make spirit babies whenever they have an orgasm, and then Jesus comes down and just delivers the baby. So that's how Christianity works. So Target, pretty generic, but I don't know. I don't like, you couldn't put a girl's titties in there. Like, that would have been way better. There's that guy again. So it's funny. I was like, hey babe, where's your Bible holder? She's like, what? I go, the thing that you use to hold your scriptures. And she's like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, yeah, I know you don't know what that is. Heathen. Married a heathen woman. Do the sign of the cross when she goes in front of a church. It's hilarious. So Mormons also don't believe that angels have wings. So it's a Mormon thing. I don't know what it is. So, so thank you to Owen Hill. Sex, so dirty. He sent me a link to Nathan Wilkes. Nathan Wilkes is that psycho guy I told you about. Of course, it's just my opinion that he's psychotic. And my observation of his behavior. He's a little obsessive. I don't think it's of me. I mean, he does talk about me, and he's got my dick in his mouth all the time, but that's fine. And I'll put a link to his YouTube channel, and you can check it out, where he like starts to criticize me, and then he like backs off because he realizes this is a recording, and that looks cool. I wouldn't really call it a grenade, but that was the old Blade one. Class D. Old-timey Class D. Let's see, what does it say? Blah, 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 blah. 30 to 125 watts. 2 ohms, can't handle 1 ohm. MOSFETs. Oh, it came with a key. Oh, that's cute. Talk about a hassle, and it keeps you bound to the fucking shitty dealer that you have to go back to, and then it overcharges you in the first place. So anyways, Nathan Wilkes is on my radar again. Just to give you quick notes about him. So he, I think I briefly told you about that. Which one is this? I think it's just a generic picture of a woofer. That's a waste of ad space. You could have put an ad there. Some sort of product. Shitty woofers. Oh, that's what those are. Profile ones. Okay, I thought they were Urban Audio Works. So we found this cone, and I'll pair it up with that one if somebody ever wants that. So, but made by Concept right there in California. But so yeah, Nathan Wilkes. Tiny Tim. Gross. Nathan Wilkes. I want to say his name as many times as he said my name. That was hilarious in that video. Coolant pump. See, this never took off. And when we found all the leftovers from the auction about this, and they really should have used off-the-shelf stuff. And they kind of did, but you had to like tap out the holes and do a bunch of other stuff. It ended up being really custom. I mean, I'm sure somebody could do it today, but you have to find standards about, because most of that stuff now you see in PC mods and computer cooling, things like that. And then, of course, mining rigs and things like that. So, but Alpine, what was that? CarQuest, something like that. Anyways, so I did a couple of projects for Nathan, and he kept changing his mind, and then he would get mad that I was taking too long, and I'm like, well, quit changing your mind. And so he finally decided on rebuilding two T2s, 12s, and he was going to have a CXA 1200.1 on each one. And so I said, okay, then those need to be single 2 ohm because the amp is 2 ohm stable. And he was like, oh, I disagree. I was like, well, no, that's not how that amplifier works. And that's kind of cute. A lot of work. So anyways, he was putting all this in a fucking Saturn. And he's one of those guys that's really eccentric. And he starts to cheap out. A lot of guys will find, like, they don't mind paying $1,000 for Assault 8K, from Sundown. But then if I want to do a recone and I'm like, yeah, it's $250 for a recone, they freak out. I'm like, dude, you paid $1,000 for this fucking woofer. I think, you can afford $250 for a recone. And it comes with a 3-year warranty, which nobody does, And also, nobody does this locally. Nobody has the parts but me. And I'm still reasonably priced. So I think it's a good deal, but for some reason, people still like to hack on me. Again, I think I'm too soft. I'm too nice. And so also people kind of disparage me because they come over and my yard looks like a junkyard. I'm like, that's fine. I don't care. So they want me to be tough and cool and, have installs like this, because they only respect people that have installs like this. I'm like, that's so stupid. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. Biggest waste of time. It's like, how many orphans you could have taken care of instead of doing this? Yeah, think about that. Yeah, you weren't thinking about that, were you? Huh? Yeah, out of left field. So, just douchebag hangout. Doing a bunch of stupid stuff. Nobody cares. They're getting trophies that you could just buy at a trophy shop. It's the dumbest thing in the world. So, yeah. Pay your dues to Iasca. They want your money. So anyways, so I think he got rubbing on one or whatever, but by this time Nathan had come over and he was acting real weird and I couldn't figure it out. And I didn't really have time to fuck around because he was like, he just wanted to come over and hang out was what I kind of gathered. And I didn't really have time for that. So some people that come over, I used to have the gates open like during the week and stuff like that. And the problem is that it attracts looky-loos, right? Because I wouldn't mind that, and that's one of the things I first kind of wanted to do was just have a cool hangout for guys, to do stuff. But the problem is a lot of them get lazy. A lot of guys are just play video games, and that doesn't make anybody money. It's not productive. It doesn't do anything. And there you go. She does something. So anyways, I don't understand. So I realize now that he wasn't being honest. It's kind of a waste for Cobalt amps, but whatever for an install like that. But so he couldn't quite make up his mind, and then he was like, "Oh, I want this RCA," and I go, "Okay, that's whatever it was, $10 or something like that." And he didn't want to pay that, and I go, "Well, okay, it's $10." And he goes, well, what if I get this one? And he starts trying to like Chris Rock, how about for one rib, that kind of thing. And I was like, I'm just trying to be patient because, I got stuff I'm doing and I'm actually working while I'm listening to him. And again, I think he wanted friendship. And I'm like, I don't have time for a lot of friendships, man. Like I don't go to social things. I have rent to pay and, kind of under the gun here. And I'm not trying to be like a shop dick, where he's like, $30 for the same RCA and, get up and get out or whatever. So I'm trying to be nice and he's not being nice. So basically it comes down to that he wanted it for free or for like $1 because I think I told him one time that I picked up probably a pallet of them, and I probably paid right around $1 each, and so he didn't feel like it was fair that I was charging him $10 each, even though it was a $20-$30 item. And so I said, well, that's not how this works. Like just because I find a bar of gold in the desert doesn't mean I'm going to give it to you for $1 because I got it for free. So that, and I didn't want to have that whole conversation with him. So I said, you know what? I just don't want it. I don't need you here. Don't worry about it. Please leave. And then, my voice goes into effect where I go, please leave, all that kind of stuff. And is this the power one? Yes. The Woof of the Month is the Power Fosgate 10-inch, which I love that dust cap. Rockford used to give you free dust caps. And I always would make up some sort of stupid, oh, my cat got it. Oh, my girlfriend cut it, or whatever. Just because they would ask. It was like, stop asking me to lie. And so, but when they were building them there in Michigan, I believe, Rockford, Michigan, by the way, they would just send them to you. It was fucking great. So I got the audio. I really like this one and the audiophile ones. And I think these were made by RDM. If you ever get a chance to go by RDM, which is Rapid Dye and Mold, and I think they're out of Ohio or Kentucky, in that Kentuckiana area, visit them, and they have the walls covered with old Lansar dust caps and a bunch of other dust caps from brands that you don't hear from anymore, but they were the ones that made them. So, and then I think they would just buy them from there and then do assembly there in Rockford at the old Carbonu factory. So, stupid band pass. Again, the only reason why they did band pass is because people think it's cool. It's not. It's a waste of space. So there's your frequency response. Watch this. Okay, so 3 dB down point is at 40 hertz. First of all, what good is that piece of shit? The other thing is, like, I had somebody was texting me earlier talking about, I want a sixth order for the wide pass band. And I go, it's called a band pass for a reason. It cuts off your band pass. See, it cuts this off. You don't get a wide spectrum when you have a band pass, whether it's sixth order like this, or even it's a fourth order where this is sealed. So that's a fourth order. That's a sixth order. So, or even where this is ported into that one and then ported again. It's the dumbest thing. And so there you go. This even looks worse. This is a sealed box. This is you would probably count it at about there. 3 dB down is at 50 hertz. That's even worse. Oh, look at that. Oh, a ported box where the 3 dB down is way here at like fucking 28 hertz. And then look at that. There's no slant. There's no cutoff. It goes all the way up to whatever the fuck you want. 400 hertz if you want. Boy, that looks like a pretty wide band pass, or also known as a pass band, right? So now you're going from 28 hertz to 400 hertz. That's a pretty wide fucking range, right? And it's a simple fucking ported box. Fucking listen. Jesus Christ. So speaking of not listening, dipshit Nathan, also known as Nate0, which I guess maybe is like supposed to be like Coke Zero. I don't know. Either way, he's a zero. And, oops, sorry. That's why I got the Bible holder to get the thing. This is when he was the 84, Punch 84, before he switched to Lansar. So, sell out. It's like, oh, we want all the trophies and the chiquinas. So, that's a beautiful picture. See the audiophile ones. Those look cool. I think that's the original one. There was another one that looked like that other dust cap where it said audiophile. But anyways, so I ask him to leave. He doesn't want to leave. And then he starts arguing and I got the video and I'll post that so you can watch it yourself. And then he starts, like he almost says, there's a part in it where he's like, almost like, I love you, and I'm like, no. And I'm like, I'm done with it because it was just nothing but complaints. And again, a lot of it is just ignorance. Like either it doesn't know or doesn't care or doesn't bother to be educated or study on his own. He wants me to spoon feed him everything. And it's real creepy. It's like this one chick I knew in high school that she's one of those girls that, like we were all 16, 17. And then she had like an older boyfriend, like 40. And he liked to spoon feed her cum after he jizzed on her tits. And she was all into it. And she was like telling me about it. And I was just like, yeah, I don't need to hear about some old dude's jizz on you. And she's just like, it's really rad. She's like, wore like black lipstick and shit like that. So I was like, well, I'm sure he likes you, and I'm sure his wife is like very proud of her, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. So it reminded me of that though, where it's like real creepy. And so I banned him from the property. I was like, you're trespass, get the fuck out of here. You're done. Film the whole thing, and I'll post the video. Because he doesn't seem to be getting the hint that he's a piece of shit. And he's very deceptive. So he acts like a really nice guy, and then he acts like, I'm not doing anything wrong, even though he just fucking violated you. So anyways, after that, he starts creeping around online, and he starts trying to buy parts from me when I had a store, and I kept refunding his money. I'm like, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want your money. Leave me alone. Wouldn't leave me alone. Starts buying parts from under aliases, other people's names. I think one of them was his ex-wife. And I'm like, nope, refund. And it kind of counted against my Square account because they're like, why are you doing refunds? I was like, this is, there's people that I don't want to do business with, and you don't let me block people. You don't let me block a IP or, a credit card number or something like that. And so I was asking the police, like, how do I block this guy? And they're like, well, because he violated you in Mesa, you have to file a report in Mesa. And I was like, ugh. So, but then he was like on OfferUp. He was like trying to, I don't know if he was smooth talking. I never looked at the text, but my wife Sherry was like, he's talking to me on here, and he's like trying to get information out of her and about me or something. It's like he knew that what he was doing was inappropriate. And I'm like, this fucking guy is he's a piece of garbage. I cannot emphasize, that looks really cool. It's probably just a sticker. But DuraPower, there you go. 630 CCA, that's a weak ass bitch. Nice embroidery work though. So, so now he's stalking my wife online, and I've told him to leave me alone, and I've rejected his money, and he just will not leave me alone. And so now, thanks to Owen Hill, she's putting her skank all over that thing. Maximum boom. I think this is all Tickmaster PEB as well. So Pandisk, which is probably him. You can follow him now on Facebook, which is cool. I'll put a link to him in the description. But what's the difference between pro and amateur anyway? Well, one gets sponsored and paid and one doesn't. That's it. That's the only difference. And pro salesman to bribe him into using certain products. Exactly. So, and that used to be a thing. Now the market is so flooded, and you guys are so dumb, and you're like, well, I'm giving you team price, and then they, remember those? See? They just had the board schematic screen printed on them. Cool, limited edition. And so anyways, Nate's a piece of shit, and I encourage everybody to go to his channel, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to let you make up your own mind, but I do think it's funny when my name or my dick is in his mouth, and he's got his mouth full about it. It's hilarious. I think it's funny. Wife thinks it's funny. He's ridiculous. So he acts like he's this most, I don't know. He's not as bold as like weird Christians where people are like, I'm a Christian. You're like, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't know that Jesus hung out with whores and thugs and probably smoked weed and took peyote and all that kind of stuff. Because it's like, I'm visiting the earth. Well, the Mormons have this whole alternative theory to Jesus and everything. It's hilarious. So it feels like it. Philips Car Systems, some sort of promotional CD or whatever. Base Metropolis. That's kind of, I hope they didn't steal that image. That's a copyrighted image. But you never know. A lot of this stuff got pirated, You just do it until you get caught. Get a little, I don't understand this guy, and I don't understand those shorts, and his wife that enables his bad behavior. But, you can just get taken out by a little drone missile, Bubba, trying to swim around in the ocean. So anyways, that's the back page, and that's the end of that episode. with Hornet following it up, which of course is just another facet of the DEI empire. Let's see. Yep, from DEI, America's largest auto security company by Daryl Issa. So, but I'll put a links to Nate, and you can quiz him if you want. So, and I would love to hear what he has to say. Not to me. I would definitely ban him from my fucking channel. I don't want anything to hear from him. But I do like what he says to other people about me. That's hilarious. So, but again, I think I've given him too much time and too much attention on this subject, but that's what he craves. So sometimes, you know, it's like one of those girls that wants to be choke slammed, and you just kind of choke slam her a couple times and bang her head a little bit, and then you kind of knock some sense into her. And then she's like, well, I didn't ask for it in the butthole. And he's like, that comes with choke slamming. So maybe, you know, put a couple fingers in his butthole. So something like that. I don't know. I'll let you guys explore your masculinity. I tell you what, though, having people either copy me or criticize me comes with the territory, and I understand that. I think there's a Jerry Seinfeld episode where he talks about, you know, all comics, stupid, basic bitch comics always talk about how, you know, I don't come to your job and heckle you. You know, it's like heckling comes with the fucking territory of being a comic, dude. That's the part of the fucking gig. So, but you know, Nate is one of those people that is a poser. He, and I've had several people come in and learn from me, and then they think that they're hot shit, and then they go and try to do their own thing, and they fall flat on their face. They don't have that pizzazz. They don't have that Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job kind of spirit, and they just flail and, you know, flame and burn out, and that's part of the thing. So I know one thing that makes people successful is being able to suck your own dick, and I've done that many, many times. And I realized after about the 20th or 30th load, it's a little gay at that point, because you're like, I've run out of places to explore where the load should go. You know, like, do I eat it? Do I put it on my face? You know, like, and then I realized, you know, third person, you know, objectivity, it's like, that's pretty gay. And so, but it was great to read in the news today that Joe Rogan said he could suck his own dick. And I was like, it's good. I got something in common with him. That's great. So, but I love you guys. Go to bed with those pretty thoughts, and also think about, you know, how many babies she's had by now and what she looks like now. I'm going to see if I can look her up. So they usually have, I like the shoes. Is it the Reebok? What is that, Puma? Some foot fetish guy, let me know. So a little orange on the legs. And then, I don't know, maybe it's the lighting. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to find out her I'm sure she's got an Instagram page, and she's a grandma now. So, but anyways, I love you guys. I will talk to you later.